What's the deal? What's going on? I think that we could see people leaning more and more into home delivery. I think we could see people restricting their travel. I think we could even see a general perspective from Canadians that, hey, I want to invest more into my castle, my home, rather than necessarily going and traveling. Could this or will this directly push us into a recession? Could this or will this result in general shutdown of the economy? What would happen if all of a sudden the government stepped in and forced all non-essential businesses to close? And I definitely don't think that you should be buying overpriced multifamily properties that don't cash flow, especially at today's insanely low interest rates. But I suspect that we're probably not done here yet. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. What's going on with COVID-19 or the coronavirus? And I just am instantly guaranteed I got demonetized there, so hopefully you guys get value out of this content, so please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and otherwise let's talk about the impacts this all could have on the real estate market in general. So, what's the deal? What's going on? Well, the first thing we should know is that during times of high volatility, especially when that volatility is also entering the stock market, in general, regulators and bankers, they like to actually try and encourage investment. And so what they're going to do is drop the interest rate. They're going to try and really just spur growth in the general economy and make it, essentially what they're trying to do is de-incentivize saving money. When interest rates are high, it can be a strong encouragement for us to save money. When interest rates are low, it's encouragement to go spend or invest that money into productive assets, into the general economy. So we've already seen one rate cut already, and that was pretty significant, both in the US and Canada and in other banking markets as well, but I suspect that we're probably not done here yet. I think that we could see even more dovish sentiment from the general regulators, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see another rate cut before 2020 is over. So one, that's something I wouldn't have predicted necessarily 6 months ago, but here we are in this new reality. And so I think that's what's also important for us as real estate investors to be aware of, is that reality is. So we need to react to whatever is going on, in the general world. But we also need to be able to separate the signal from the noise. So there's a lot of noise, general concern, and panic whenever something happens. Oftentimes, the signal is things don't really change that much. Now, what's going on in this case? If you guys haven't seen, I've already shot one video on this subject matter, so you can go watch all my general thoughts in this regard of what the different scenarios are. But what I think the most likely scenario is, we will see a slight change in consumption patterns, at least in the short term, if not long term, of how the general population acts. I think that we could see people leaning more and more into home delivery. I think we could see people restricting their travel. I think we could even see a general perspective from Canadians that, hey, I want to invest more into my castle, my home, rather than necessarily going and traveling. It feels like a safer investment to fix up my house or add on that new addition, renovate my bathroom or kitchen, or refinish the basement versus going on, around the world trip. So because of that, I think we could actually see people wanting to double down on real estate investing. As well, if we continue to see volatility in the stock market, it's not surprising to me to see safe money fleeing the stock market and coming into real estate, whether that be directly into buying real estate or buying, REITs, or it could simply be lending out to real estate investors who then are going to go buy real estate. But in general, that again feels like it's going to establish a decent floor for real estate. So, in my opinion, if you're investing for fundamentals, you're almost always safe with real estate. But if you're investing in speculative investments, if you're doing new construction, if you're essentially just counting on the greater fool theory to make money in real estate, well then I think you could be in for some pain, you could be in for some discomfort, and you should be prepared for that. So I don't want to see you guys necessarily going and buying new construction right now. I don't think that you should be buying spec condos. I don't think you should be building spec homes. And I definitely don't think that you should be buying overpriced multifamily properties that don't cash flow, especially at today's insanely low interest rates. Who knows what the future holds? No one has a crystal ball, and anyone that claims they do is either ignorant or purposely lying and misleading us. So in general, I want you guys to all recognize this is just one man's opinion based upon my personal experiences. At the end of the day, you're going to have to make a decision for yourself. Here, we're going to keep wholesaling deals. I'm going to keep buying cash flowing multifamily properties. We're going to keep making a YouTube video a day. We're going to keep operating the business as normal, essentially, is what I'm saying. But we are going to stay attuned to it. So I'm not going to be watching every 5 seconds for an update, but yeah, maybe every day I'm going to check into Canada's website to see how many confirmed cases we have. And you know, if I start seeing that rate double over short periods of time, then I might even be more concerned. Realistically, to me, what I'm most concerned about is the economic impact this could have. Could this or will this directly push us into a recession? Could this or will this result in general shutdown of the economy? You know, what would happen if all of a sudden the government stepped in and forced all non-essential businesses to close? What would happen if all of a sudden only pharmacies and grocery stores were open, but things like banks, malls, entertainment centers, you know, any of that general kind of surplus, I guess, of the economy, what if that was to shut down? What if government institutions and government buildings as well as schools were to shut down? You know, that does have significant impacts on the general economy. That could dramatically impact employment rates if it lasts for an extended period of time. Now, would we likely see governments enter in and create some sort of subsidy or some sort of program to help bridge those gaps? Yeah, probably. So we've already seen that to a degree in Italy, where I believe they've postponed mortgage payments. So literally, because things are so crazy right now, because the banks are closed, they're literally postponing the requirements to pay your mortgage. Now, I'm not saying that's happening in North America. I'm not saying that that's even a good idea, but being mildly aware of what's going on, that is valuable, because what we should be looking at as investors is, what do we think the significant risk is? What do we think the most realistic worst case scenario is? That's what I personally like to always look at in these situations. So what you need to do as an investor is really just ask yourself, you know, do you feel exposed to this? But focus on the data and not the drama. So drama is panicking because you heard Tom Hanks or your favorite NBA player, you know, got sick. The data is, cases are rising in my local community, or cases are dropping in my local community. Unemployment's increasing or decreasing. You know, let's really dial into the data and focus on that, rather than letting our emotions run roughshod over us and our critical thinking processes. But this is just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours, so jump in that comment section down below and let me know, what are your thoughts? Is this a big deal? Is this a big deal for real estate investors? Will you be changing your investment strategies? Are you going to be changing the type of properties you buy? Are you going to start hoarding cash like a dragon? I'd love to get your perspective and your opinions in that comment section down below. Otherwise, do you enjoy these sort of videos? If you got value from this, what I need you to do is smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and then, yeah,